Ladies, have you ever thought that a few dresses hiding in your closet might actually be stealing your elegance, your youthful glow, and even your height? If you're over 50 and petite, this video was made for you. The problem isn't your body, and it certainly isn't your age. It's the styles you once loved that are now quietly dimming the radiance that's always been yours. Today, I'm revealing 8 dress mistakes that are dragging your style down. And more importantly, I'll show you modern flattering alternatives that keep you comfortable while making you look taller, fresher, and more confident. Stay with me until the end, because mistake number 1 is the most common and, honestly, the most damaging. Once you see it, you'll realize how just a few small changes can completely bring your style and your confidence back to life. And if you find today's tips helpful, don't forget to hit like, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe so you never miss more style secrets designed to help women over 50 stay elegant, confident, and radiant. Dress 8. Bodycon dresses, the confidence trap. Have you ever stood in front of the mirror, zipped up that old bodycon dress, the one that used to feel like your secret weapon, and suddenly went silent? When you were younger, slipping into something form-fitting was enough to light up the room. You felt magnetic, energized, completely yourself. But past 50, that same dress tells a different story. It highlights every fold at the waist, every change around the hips and stomach, and instead of lifting you up, it pulls your confidence down. And let me be clear, it's not because you've lost anything. Our bodies change, and that's natural. In fact, those changes carry the beauty of experience and grace. The problem isn't you, it's the dress. Bodycon was designed to cling, to showcase, to shout about your body. At 20 or 30, it may have been the perfect partner. But at 50, what you need isn't volume. It's refinement. Many women hold on to bodycon pieces not just for style, but for memories. A friend once told me she still keeps the red dress she wore on her 35th birthday. Every time she sees it, she remembers how radiant she felt that night. Others believe tight is sexy, and I have to hold on to that. But sexy at 25 is not the same as allure at 55. A woman with life behind her draws people in with her eyes, her smile, her poise, not a layer of fabric clinging to every inch of her body. That's why it's time for a different choice. I'll never forget the first time I swapped out bodycon for a wrap dress in deep emerald green. The crepe fabric draped softly, tied lightly at the waist, and flowed naturally over my hips. I remember exhaling, as if my clothes finally understood me. I wasn't squeezed into an old idea of beauty. I was free. When I walked out, friends immediately noticed. I looked taller, leaner, brighter, and for the first time in a long while, I saw myself in the mirror. Not someone holding on to the past, but a woman of today, confident, elegant, at peace. Picture yourself in a burgundy wrap dress, tied with a delicate bow at the waist. Pair it with nude slingbacks and a structured bag. Each step feels effortless, each movement graceful. That's what true femininity looks like. Not forced, not loud, but flowing naturally with who you are. You don't need a second skin of fabric to prove you're still attractive. Real elegance comes from choosing what works for you now, not clinging to yesterday's image. And if bodycon is the dress that squeezes too tight, the next style swings too far in the other direction. So much fabric it swallows your petite frame whole. Dress 7, tent or swing dresses, the fabric overload. There's a certain kind of dress many women over 50 reach for when they just want to feel comfortable and not overthink it. The tent dress, sometimes called a swing dress. On the hanger, it promises freedom and ease, but on a petite frame, it quickly turns into what I like to call a silent fabric monster. All that excess material, hanging shapelessly, swallows you whole. Instead of highlighting your figure, it makes you look like you've disappeared into a sack. The logic behind choosing it is simple. The wider the cut, the easier it hides the stomach. The longer the hem, the better it conceals flaws. I've heard women say their very first tent dress was bought right after turning 50. As soon as their waist wasn't as flat as it used to be. It became the go-to piece for errands, coffee with friends, even casual parties, because at least no one would notice the tummy. But here's the catch. That very freedom is also what robs you of shape, making you look shorter, wider, and drained of energy. I remember attending a reunion where one woman walked in wearing a blue and white check swing dress. The fabric looked airy and breezy, yes, but when she entered the room, what people saw first wasn't her. It was the dress. Her petite frame disappeared underneath it. Just a few weeks later, she tried on a navy A-line dress with a defined waist and a skirt that gently flared out. The transformation was stunning. Suddenly she looked taller, slimmer, and her face lit up, thanks to the balanced proportions of the dress. That's why, instead of hiding behind layers of fabric, choose dresses that celebrate you, not consume you. A fit and flare silhouette is a wonderful option. Fitted through the bodice, flaring just enough at the skirt to add femininity and grace. Choose a fabric with drape, crepe, chiffon, or a soft cotton blend that lets your body breathe. Picture a navy A-line dress in a light, flowing material, paired with kitten heels and a structured handbag. Walk into a cafe, and instead of your dress overwhelming you, you become the center of attention. Here's the truth. Comfort should never come at the cost of your silhouette. You can absolutely feel relaxed and free while still keeping your shape and elegance intact. A tent dress offers only temporary safety, but a well-cut dress gives you lasting confidence. Comfort should never come at the cost of your silhouette. So take a look at your closet. If the dresses hanging there are too wide, too heavy, too shapeless, maybe it's time to let them go and welcome pieces that flatter instead of fight you. Because if tent dresses make you disappear into fabric, the next style goes in the opposite direction, not drowning you in volume, but erasing your waist altogether. Dress 6. Boxy shift dresses, losing the waist. At first glance, these dresses can look neat and polished, but the moment you slip one on, your body suddenly feels boxed in. That's exactly what a straight, boxy shift dress does. The fabric falls straight from the shoulders with no definition, no shaping, and the waist, the very center of balance, completely disappears. On a petite frame, the effect is even more obvious. You get lost inside the fabric, look shorter, and lose the natural softness of your silhouette. It's no surprise many women over 50 reach for this style. It's convenient. You can wear it to the office, to coffee, to run errands. They're sold everywhere, easy to grab without much thought. Some even believe that the loose cut hides the stomach. I once had a client tell me, with a shift dress, at least I don't have to worry about my tummy showing when I sit. But what she didn't realize was that the relief came at a cost. It made her look older and more rigid than she really was. I'll never forget a seminar where a woman walked in wearing a gray shift dress. It was tidy, yes, but lifeless. And then she stood next to someone else wearing a navy shirt dress, cinched with a slim belt. The difference was striking. The second woman instantly looked taller, her waist defined, her posture confident. That single detail, the belt, completely changed the impression she gave off. The solution is simple. Don't skip the waist. A navy shirt dress with a brown leather belt paired with ankle boots looks modern, flattering, and light. Or go for an empire waist design cut just under the bust. It balances proportions beautifully while gently disguising the midsection. Both options feel comfortable and natural, but still keep your femininity front and center. One of my favorite moments in a fitting session was when a woman in her mid-50s tried on a belted shirt dress. She laughed out loud and said, "So, my waist hasn't actually disappeared after all." What sounded like a joke was really a sigh of relief. So many women assume age has erased their waistline, when in reality it's just the wrong dress doing the erasing. Your waist isn't just a curve, it's the anchor of balance and confidence. Accentuate it, and your entire figure lights up. People won't see someone trying to hide. They'll see a woman standing tall, in control of her style, and radiant. Defining your waist is defining your power. When you bring that detail back, you're not just reshaping your figure, you're sending the world a message. I still own my style, no matter my age. And while the shift dress erases your waist, the next style does the opposite. It exaggerates the hips so much it throws your whole silhouette off balance. Dress 5, mermaid or trumpet dresses, the imbalance maker. On the hanger, these dresses can look absolutely stunning. They hug the hips tightly and then flare out dramatically at the knees, like a mermaid's tail. At first glance, they give off an air of sophistication, femininity, and confidence. But for petite women over 50, this design often turns elegance into overstatement. The fitted hips paired with the exaggerated flare throw off your proportions. Suddenly, the lower half feels heavy. Your legs look swallowed, and any sense of height disappears. Many women keep this style in their closets because they believe it's the epitome of formal. Weddings, galas, company events, the mermaid silhouette often feels like the ticket to looking glamorous. I remember a client once told me, as soon as I put on a mermaid dress, I feel like I'm ready for a party. But when she tried it again at 55, the effect was completely different. The dress emphasized her hips too much, made her look shorter, and the elegance she was hoping for turned into heaviness. Behind this choice is something deeply human, the desire to be noticed, to stand out on special occasions. None of us wants to fade into the background, but standing out doesn't have to mean piling on fabric and dramatic shapes. True elegance often lies in restraint, in letting a dress support your natural frame instead of overwhelming it. I recall one fitting session where I suggested a client swap her black trumpet dress for a cobalt blue fit and flare. The waist was gently defined. The skirt flared just enough to add softness without drowning her figure. We topped it with a blazer that hit right at the hip, and suddenly she looked taller, balanced, and modern. Her face lit up when she realized she didn't need a dramatic gown to capture attention. Balance alone was enough. That's why fit and flare dresses or a simple knee-length sheath dress are ideal alternatives. They skim the body without clinging too tightly, highlight the waist, and let the skirt move with you. They don't compete with the woman wearing them. They frame her. Imagine a cream-colored sheath dress paired with a sharp navy blazer and pointed toe pumps. The look is polished, elegant, but far lighter and more refined than any mermaid gown could offer. Balance is the true core of style. When the top and bottom are in harmony, you appear seamless, and you feel confident from the inside out. Balance is elegance, and elegance is timeless. Don't let an overly complicated design steal that from you. And if the mermaid dress makes the lower half of your body feel heavy, the next style goes in the opposite direction. It piles all the volume on your shoulders and sleeves, throwing your proportions off balance in an entirely new way. Dress 4. Dresses with exaggerated shoulders or puffy sleeves. The proportion thief. Sometimes a detail that's meant to be a statement ends up stealing the balance of your entire look. Puffy shoulders and oversized sleeves fall right into that category. On the hanger, they look bold, dramatic, even fun, like the perfect way to stand out in a crowd. But on a petite frame, those inflated shoulders can feel more like bat wings, throwing everything off balance. Suddenly, your shoulders look broader, your arms more exposed, and the waist and legs, the features that should define your shape, fade into the background. Plenty of women over 50 still hold on to this style, and on paper, the reasons make sense. I want to make a statement. I want something fun and different, or even, it's been in my closet for years, and I can't bring myself to toss it. A friend once confided in me that she wore a puff-sleeve dress to her birthday party, thinking it would make her look radiant. But by the end of the night, what people remembered wasn't her smile or her presence. It was the oversized sleeves that completely overshadowed her. And that's the truth. When your clothes take the spotlight, the woman wearing them gets lost. What you really want is for people to notice your grace, your confidence, your energy. But instead, you end up being the frame for an overdone design. True elegance is the opposite. The dress should set the stage. You should be the masterpiece. There are far more flattering ways to add softness and charm to your arms without overwhelming your proportions. 3/4 sleeves, fitted just right, are timeless. They reveal the delicate wrist and create an instant sense of lightness. If you like a bit of flair, a subtle bell sleeve or a lace detail can do wonders. I once worked with a client who tried on a dusty rose-wrap dress with sheer lace sleeves. The transformation was incredible. She looked refined, yet feminine, petite but polished, and her whole face lit up with confidence. Even the simplest outfit can prove the point. Imagine a dusty rose wrap dress with delicate lace sleeves, paired with slingback heels and a slim bracelet. No bulky fabric stealing the attention. Instead, it's your waist, your smile, the way you carry yourself that everyone notices. The dress flows with you, not against you, allowing your body to breathe and move naturally. The frame should never outshine the portrait. You are the portrait. Remember, the frame is just there to support, but the painting holds the soul. Choose the right details, and instantly, balance and elegance return. And if puff sleeves can throw your proportions off, the next style has a different trap altogether. It divides the body with blocks of color that visually cut your height in half. Dress 3. Overly long dresses. The height eraser. You know those long, flowing dresses that look so elegant on the hanger? They seem like they'll give you instant sophistication and the perfect amount of coverage. But the moment you put them on, they can quietly become what I call the height eraser. When a dress pools on the floor and hides your shoes completely, a petite frame instantly looks weighed down. The proportions fall apart, and instead of elongating your figure, it shortens your legs and makes you look smaller than you are. Many women choose this style believing that the longer, the better when it comes to hiding flaws. If the fabric covers you from shoulder to toe, then surely the tummy, hips, and thighs will all stay out of sight, right? I think of a neighbor of mine who always wore floor-sweeping maxi dresses when she went out. She thought they were safe and modest, but in reality, those dresses hid not only the areas she wanted to conceal, they also masked her best features, like her petite legs and graceful stride. What could have been elegant turned into a heavy block of fabric. I'll never forget a wedding where this contrast played out in real time. One guest wore a long black dress with thick fabric that dragged across the floor. Every step was clumsy because the hem kept catching under her shoes. From a distance, it looked like a big dark shape moving, not a woman gliding confidently. Another guest wore a sapphire maxi that hit right at the ankle with a subtle slit along the side. Paired with nude sandals, she looked taller, lighter, and every step felt effortless. Both women wore long dresses, yet the difference was night and day, all because of the cut and the length. So, what's the solution? Long dresses aren't the enemy. You just need to tweak them. Go for maxi dresses that stop at the ankle instead of sweeping the ground. Choose lightweight, drapey fabrics like chiffon or crepe so the dress moves with you, not against you. Add a small slit at the side or front for airflow and the illusion of longer legs. Imagine this. An ankle-length sapphire dress with a gentle slit, styled with nude sandals. Suddenly, your whole body feels elongated by a few extra inches, but you still look elegant and effortless. It's a small adjustment with a big payoff. When the hemline hits at just the right place, your shoes peek through, your legs look longer, and your entire frame feels more streamlined. And you don't even need sky-high heels. Neutral or skin tone shoes alone work wonders for visually lengthening your legs. Length should lift you, not drag you. A long dress should make you feel graceful, elevated, and refined, not heavy and hidden. Don't let the old habit of thinking longer means safer rob you of your natural advantages. With the right hemline and fabric, a maxi can be your best friend, flattering, modern, and full of confidence. And if a hemline that's too long can steal inches from your legs, the next style makes a different mistake. It hides the very light of your face and the elegance of your neckline. Dress 2. High neck dresses. The face dimmer. At first glance, a high neck dress feels like the safe choice. It covers the chest, climbs all the way up to the collarbone, sometimes even hugging the neck. For many women over 50, that seems reassuring. Modest, proper, and free from any risk of showing too much. But here's the catch. That very modesty often steals the light from your face. When the neckline is too high, your upper body looks shortened, your face seems shadowed, and your whole figure feels heavier and less graceful. So why do so many women stick with them? Habit. Thoughts like, the more covered I am, the less I have to worry. Or high necklines feel formal and appropriate, become second nature. I once met a retired doctor whose closet was almost entirely filled with high-neck dresses. She told me that after years in a serious work environment, she was used to presenting herself in that reserved way. But by her 60s, she noticed that every time she wore one, her face looked heavier, almost drained. She didn't understand why until she slipped into a simple V-neck. Suddenly, her face lit up again. Another reason women often choose this neckline is the desire to hide. Lines around the neck, skin that it isn't as smooth as it once was, it feels easier to cover it all. But ironically, the more you hide, the more attention you draw. High necklines compress your proportions, stiffen your face, and signal exactly what you're trying to downplay. A gently open neckline, on the other hand, lengthens the neck, brightens your expression, and softens your features. I'll never forget one client who came in wearing a beige high-neck dress. The outfit wasn't bad, but it made her look closed off and older than she was. I handed her a navy V-neck midi dress and added a simple pearl necklace. The change was instant. Her skin looked brighter, her smile more relaxed, and everyone around her remarked how much younger and more confident she seemed. She laughed and said, "I can't believe just lowering the neckline a little makes such a difference." The good news is the fix isn't complicated. A classic V-neck is timeless, feminine, and refined. A scoop neck, slightly rounded and open, works beautifully too if you want softness without going deep. Both styles allow just a glimpse of the collarbone, creating a graceful, elongated line that keeps the look chic. Add a pair of pumps and a touch of minimal jewelry, and you'll feel lighter, brighter, and perfectly balanced. Your light belongs out in the world, not hidden behind fabric. At this stage in life, beauty isn't about covering. It's about revealing just enough to let your face and presence shine. And while high-neck dresses can dim that light, the next mistake tips the balance in another way. With oversized prints that overwhelm you, making the dress walk into the room before you do. Dress 1, oversized loud prints, the scene stealer. On the rack, those dresses with giant florals or bold geometric patterns are the first to catch your eye. Bright colors, oversized shapes, they practically shout, "Wear me," and you'll look young and vibrant again. But for petite women over 50, that kind of volume is a double-edged sword. Big prints dominate the eye, throw off your proportions, and leave you looking swallowed up by fabric. The dress speaks so loudly that your face, your presence, even your personality, get pushed into the background. Many women reach for this style with the best of intentions. Some believe that color equals youth. Others think bold prints make them look cheerful and full of energy. I once had a friend in her mid-50s who bought a maxi covered in huge red florals for a party because she wanted to bring a lively vibe. But when she walked into the room, the only thing anyone noticed were the flowers. People complimented the dress. "Wow, that's striking," but no one complimented her. And that's when she realized the dress had stolen the attention that should have been hers. The truth is, youthful style doesn't come from shouting. It comes from subtle choices that highlight you. A smaller, well-balanced print can do wonders. Delicate, refined, and far more flattering. I remember another client who came in wearing a red and gold dress with massive blooms. When we swapped it for a pastel chiffon tea dress with tiny florals, the transformation was instant. Her face lit up, her frame looked slimmer, and she suddenly looked younger and fresher. This time, no one talked about the dress. They talked about her. The fix couldn't be simpler. Choose smaller, balanced patterns. Think polka dots, tiny florals, or fine stripes. A soft chiffon dress sprinkled with a pastel print paired with nude pumps creates a look that's graceful and timeless. The dress fades into the background, just as it should, so that you become the focal point. Elegance whispers. It doesn't need to shout. True style isn't about being louder than the room, but about letting your presence shine. And now that we've walked through all 8 dress mistakes, it's clear the problem has never been your age. It's simply been choosing designs that drown your light instead of letting it glow. Ladies, we've just walked through 8 dresses petite women over 50 should avoid. Remember, every change you make in your wardrobe isn't about erasing the years you've lived. It's about honoring the strength, the beauty, and the wisdom that only come with them. Fashion at this stage of life isn't a mask to hide your age. It's a celebration of who you are, a confident, graceful, vibrant woman. If there's one takeaway, it's this. Don't let body hugging or shapeless dresses erase your natural lines. Steer clear of fussy details, puffy sleeves, oversized prints, floor-sweeping hems that throw off your balance. Instead, lean into designs that create harmony, soft fabrics that move with you, and colors that lift your energy so you look taller, lighter, and radiant every single day. Now, I'd love to hear from you. If you've made even one of these 8 style mistakes, give this video a like or share in the comments. Which type of dress has challenged you the most? I'd love to connect with you and continue this journey together. And if today's video was helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with a friend who's also ready to elevate her style after 50. Be sure to check the description for more videos where I share color tips and accessory secrets to help you show up elegant, timeless, and full of confidence.